When they meet, people stop, people stand back and take notice. It's a glorious afternoon in North Yorkshire with this match absolutely packed full of relevance, packed full of importance. Let's have some fun. The Bulls supporters are here in big numbers, and it's going to be York moving the ball out of their own 20-metre line here with Ingano. Tackle free. Doro immediately comes out of that defensive line with Sam Hallas. Ingano, past a late fitness test, suffering with tendinitis, gets up here gingerly. Well, if Ingano has to leave the field early doors here, that will be a huge blow to the York Knights. It was a crunchy tackle from Aribi Doro and Sam Hallas. Well, Mark Applegarth, we spoke to him during the week. He said Ingano was 50-50. He is suffering with that tendinitis. This is obviously a neck complaint. Referee Manny Lynn has stopped the clock here. And it's the Bradford fans who are in party mode here. And what a performance, what a result this would be for Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood and the Bradford Bulls if they could become the first side since Featherstone on Good Friday back in April to defeat the York Knights. Connor Carr, Kieran Gill on this left-hand edge. They're up against Ben Jones, Bishop and Kieran Buchanan. That is going to be absolutely fascinating, is that battle. Referee Manny Lynn says play on as Aribi Doro comes into that defensive line, forces the error, and that is going to be scrum, head and feet to Bradford, 20 metres out underneath the York post here. So an early error made by the York Knights. Conor Fitzsimmons put under pressure there from Aribi Doro. Mark Applegarth, he'll class that as one of those self-inflicted mistakes, and immediately it's put the Knights under pressure. Bradford will have it, 10 to the right-hand side of the post. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. We've had 60 seconds gone here. And Joe Keys back after recovering from that knee injury. Lilly now to G. G, one of the 5 changes made by Brian Noble. He's refreshed, refocused and re-energised. The 20 out centre field. Hallas to Lawrence, to Doro. Doro inside the 10. He's still going as Aribi Doro. Bradford 5 metres out underneath the York post. Bit of a pedestrian slow play of the ball, but here now goes Hallas to Lawrence. Lawrence wrapped up by McShane. 0-0 here at the LNER Stadium, but some early Bradford pressure for York to try and absorb and dissipate as Doro wrestled to the ground on his back. Tackle 4. 1 to go here for the Bulls. The 5 metres out from the line. Aribi Doro taken out off the ball, right in front of the post. Brian Noble, 2 fingers in the air. He says to Jordan Lilly, take the 2 points on offer. That was silly stuff there from the York Knights. Aribi Doro trying to play the ball with 4 defenders around him, and one of them, I think it was Liam Harris. Liam Harris just pushed him over. Penalty in front of the post. This is going to see the Bulls take an early 2-0 lead here before we've even got a real feel for how this game is going. Well, Jordan Lilly, his control, his smartness in what he's having, for our opinion, a standout year for the former Leeds man. He was 5 from 7 last week against Hunslet. He's 40 from 53 for the season. Kick predictor turned on, 100%. It's right in front of the post, 10 metres out, in front of the packed away end with the Bradford fans there. And you've got to say, Bradford about to take an early 2-0 lead. That might help the nerves, might help the confidence, the composure. It's exactly 10 metres out underneath the post. Jordan Lilly to give the Bradford Bulls an early 2-point lead here at a sweltering, baking hot LNER Stadium. Lilly's on point, 1 from 1. York Knights 0, Bradford Bulls 2. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Those watching on Bulls TV, good afternoon. 3 gone on the clock. Aribi Doro, we know all about Aribi Doro. We've mentioned how he brings directness to Bradford's attacking play. Devilishly difficult, Aribi Doro, to bring down and stop. And as we saw in that second half against Hunslet last week, he was just eating yards. It's almost like he's been on a famine or a fast. And I'm sure he'll do that this afternoon against York. So we're back underway here. 3 minutes gone on the clock. Harris boots a ball, sends it downtown towards Ockenbaugh. Ockenbaugh passes in field to Hooley. Hooley to Dorrow, and Dorrow's away. Just brought down there by Buchanan and Jones Bishop. There was a half chance there for the Hulkeston Rovers, Loney. Lily's in there and acting half to Kieran Gill. Thompson, Fitzsimmons. Also Martin and Harris involved in that one. 2 gone. Here's Bayliss up to the 20. Tackle free, 2 to go. Centre field. 4 minutes gone on the clock as Michael Lawrence makes 15 metres down the middle of the park. And that's a good run there on tackle 4. 1 to go. Lily kicks early, looks for a 40-20. Jones Bishop and Mada Affa track back. Mada Affa takes it from his own 10-metre line, and that red, amber and black shirted Bulls defence brings down the Samoan, who's in rich vein of form. 9th appearance, 4 tries. A try last week against Sheffield. As we said, Will Dagger, Joe Brown, they can feature in that full-back position. The way Mada Affa's playing, you can't see either Brown or Dagger getting in this York side. York are on their own 40-metre line with Jones Bishop. It goes to Martin, the Australian, bounces into G and Dorrow. 4th tackle gone for the Knights. McShane goes to Thompson down the middle. Thompson wrapped up. This is very high energy, high intensity from both sides here. York on the last tackle. Back to halfway to Harris. High hanging kick from Harris. Sends it down the throat of Hooley. Hooley takes that one. Clear blue skies, if not a little hazy above. And that's a good kick chase effort there from the York Knights. Harris to Hooley. And then Hooley along the line to Bayliss, who was immediately wrapped up and dumped back towards his own try line. Bradford now coming out of their own 20-metre line here with Gill, who's wrapped up by Bailey and Buchanan. Connor Bailey, a try scorer last week against the Eagles. Here goes Dorrow down the middle, once again skittling those York defenders over. He's 15 shy of halfway. Bradford leading 2-0 here. Lily on 4, along the line to G. G to Gill, Gill to Carr. Carr up to halfway, wrapped up, and Bradford now on that 5th and last tackle. Good defence there from Harrison, Jones Bishop. Now it's going to go to Lily on the last, along the line of Hooley. Hooley. Cross-field kick. Taken well by Galliano on the far stand side. That York defensive line speed there, you just saw it. Lily was going to put boot to ball, but they rushed up and hunted him down, so he had to pass it along the line of Hooley. Not the best kick, but Hooley did well to get it away. 6 gone on the clock here. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. Jack Martin, the Australian, the 28-year-old. Appearance number 21 of the season for the Knights. 5 inside the Bradford half. McShane to Harris to Connor Bailey. Bailey wrapped up there by Kieran Gill, the 2 former Newcastle Fundament. Meet 15 inside Bradford territory. Harris in centre field now. Lays it off to Thompson, who goes straight down the middle and he's looking to offload the ball. Gill though lassos Jordan Thompson. Great defence there from Kieran Gill. Mary Lynn says that's the last, and Harris will put boot to ball. He'll target Hooley once again. Hooley takes it. 10 out from his own line. Good, comfortable take there from Luke Hooley. 13th appearance of the season for him. He opened the try scoring here in that semi-final 2 months ago. Bradford incidentally led that game for 35 minutes, 4-0. Had a lot of possession, a lot of territory, just couldn't capitalise. And now Bradford have come up with the error. Wonga Blake moving the ball back on the inside for Rockinbaugh. Referee Manny Lynn might just give Bradford a bit of a reprieve here, but he won't. First error from Wonga Blake. Wonga Blake, they're guilty of just trying to be a little bit too fancy there. And that will just reaffirm that message from Brian Noble, that they just need to be patient, sharp and focused. They can't give a side like the York Knights any gifts whatsoever. So a first error there from the Bulls. Scrum to York, 20 metres out, underneath the Bradford post. And now Bradford have to really muscle up in defence. Here goes Ingano from the base of the scrum, 10 metres out, 20 in from this main stand side. Bradford, line speed good, alert, effective. Harris uses Martin as the decoy runner, gives it to Thompson. Thompson's brought down, still 10 metres out underneath the post. McShane goes probing across the face of the post. They move the ball to D. Now it's going to go to Field. Ollie Field loves scoring against the Bulls. He scored 3 in the last 4 meetings. Back in centre field with Harris to Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons towards the line, rolled over on tackle 4, 1 to go, and the 4 metres out, knocking on the Bulls' door. Harris, dancing feet, can't get past Doro, but he's allowed to offload the ball to Hingano. Hingano to Buchanan. Buchanan wrapped up, and that's the last tackle here. Although Buchanan quick play the ball, they're going in at the corner here with Connor Bailey, but Bradford have scrambled and they've denied Connor Bailey on the last tackle, on the power play. Luke Cooley, Jordan Lilly, Kieran Gill. That triumvirate of Bradford Bulls defence. They've saved an almost certain score from Connor Bailey. The former Wakefield Academy man knows Mark Applegarth really, really well from Mark Applegarth's Wakefield days. And it remains here with 10 gone on the clock. York 0, Bradford 2. Whoever wins this goes top of the table. That is a massive golden carrot, a massive incentive for both sides. Hooley's playing the ball 30 out from his own line. Now it's going to go from Lilly to G. G slides forward, 15 med there from the former Sheffield man. Quick play the ball. It's now Logan Bayliss, 5 metres or so inside the York half of the field. Bradford on the last. They're going to go on the short side to Lilly. Lilly high hanging kick, targets Mara Affa. Jones Bishop moves in that centre field position, so he can alleviate the burden on the forwards, and it's going to be a quick play the ball, and now Harris is away, and Harris is finally brought down 5 shy of halfway there by Doro and G. You've just seen you cannot blink, you cannot go to sleep for even a moment's seconds rest, because York, they will just get you. They're on halfway now, the Knights. Hingano kicks towards the corner, too much on that from Hingano. You've just seen a little bit of the thought process there from the Kiwi, Ado Hingano. He kicked with Blake and Okinbaugh out of position. Galliano was looking to run onto it. In the end, Hingano put a little bit too much on that one, and that one has gone into touch. 10 metres out, Bradford will have a play the ball. Well, as we said, 3 games already have taken place in round 17. Hunslet 6, Featherstone 70 at the South Leeds Stadium on Friday evening. Yesterday it was London 18, Doncaster 38 at Ebbsfleet. At Odsall, Halifax's temporary home, a real humdinger from the Championship. Halifax Panthers 30, Toulouse Olympics 16. Toulouse now have lost 2 in their last 4. Away defeats at Widnes, and Halifax hampering their first place aspirations. Fulton from that scrum rolled over, 25 shy of halfway, 12 gone on the clock. York 0, Bradford 2. Lilly now to G. Points at a premium. The line speed infectious. Michael Lawrence now, limited metres there from the Jamaican international. 3 hungry black-shirted Knights defenders bringing down Michael Lawrence. Hallis to Doro. Doro up to halfway, offloads the ball to Hallis. Keys out wide to Blake. Blake surges forward. 10 metres inside the York half. They're on the 5th and last tackle. Keys, high hanging kick down to Madarafa, and he takes that one well, does the 28-year-old former teammate of Jaden Okinbaugh at the Canterbury Bulldogs. Galliano now on tackle 2. Energy sapping conditions, sweltering heat here in North Yorkshire. Big Championship crowds as we see Brendan Santi, the Italian international, former Keighley man, come on the field here for Connor Fitzsimmons. So that's the first interchange of the afternoon. Here goes Santi, rested last week against the Eagles, up to halfway. The former Keighley man brought down there by Bayliss and G. They're on the last. Harris kicks towards the corner. Hooley goes across, takes it comfortably, no real kick chase pressure there, into the 10, out of the 10, felled by Martin, just 15 out underneath his own post. Here goes Jayden Okenbaugh up to the Bradford 30 metre line. He's just made 15 metres there, Jayden Okenbaugh. So Bradford just on top, you feel, with that ascendancy and momentum, but neither side having much ball, much possession in those red zone areas. Lily now to Gill on halfway. Bradford, 2 tackles left on this set. We've had 14 minutes gone here on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. Knights 0, Bulls 2 as Doro is caught on the shoulder. Fans appealing for a penalty, non forthcoming. Last tackle, back to Keys on halfway. Once again, kicks down towards Galliano and Madarafa. This time it's Galliano who takes it. He will turn defence into attack, and Bradford marshalling up there with G, Fulton, Lawrence, and that's a good attacking platform now that the Bulls have got the Knights in, because it's going to force them to come at the Bulls from deep, and it's going to be Jones Bishop tackle 2. Harris now to Buchanan. Kieran Buchanan, he has the power, he has the pace on the edge, as Bradford found out after that try assist to Connor Bailey here in the semi-final. Jack Martin, the Australian, up to halfway on tackle 4. Doro in defence there with Hallis. McShane to Mara Afa, and the 10 inside the Bradford half on the last tackle. It will be McShane to Harris. Harris, high, hanging kick. It's going to come down on the 10 metre line for Hooley. Hooley absolutely clattered there by Brendan Santi. It's a legal challenge, but it was the timing of that tackle from Brendan Santi on Hooley. If he mistimes that, it's a penalty and is in trouble, and that's got the York supporters on the feet. Listen to the noise. Santi, they cheer. And he's making an immediate impact, Brendan Santi, the 31-year-old. Bradford now out of their own 20 metre line with Hooley, looking to find Blake. Keeps hold of possession. That's that patience and smartness. You don't always have to force the ball and offload it, as Fulton now tries to bust through. Bradford on tackle 4, 1 to go. And it gives you an idea of just how dominant they are with the forwards, that they're just shy of halfway now, as Lily kicks early on tackle 4. It's heading towards the York 20 metre line. Madarafa takes it from the 10. And look at this, Doro leading that defensive charge. Doro and Hallis go straight to Madarafa. And with 15 gone on the clock, York 0, Bradford 2. If you are just joining us, it was an early error from Connor Fitzsimmons after a tackle from Doro that saw the ball pop out. Bradford playing the ball, 5 out from underneath the post. Doro was pushed, penalty, 2 points to the Bulls. Points at a premium here in North Yorkshire. Harris on halfway, gives it to D. Jesse D rolled over there by Blake. Bradford have numbers lacking on the left, and that's where the Knights go. They go over on that left, but Fulton wraps up Ngannou, although Ngannou's got the ball back to Thompson, and Thompson, head down, surging forward like the spring tide. He's brought down just outside the 20, and Bradford having to scramble back here. It is the last tackle. They go on the power play with Harris. Harris into space. Keys has somehow managed to get there ahead of Ngannou. It will be a goal line dropout, but it could be, or it could have been, a lot worse had Joe Keys and his quick thinking dealt with that Liam Harris crossfield kick along the floor on the last tackle. Clever, deceptive play there from Harris. McShane, it looked like they had the numbers stacked on this right-hand side, but then Harris rolled it off the boot into centre field, and luckily Joe Keys, he'd gone to Waterstones this week and had a look what the best-selling novel was, and he realised it was Liam Harris kicking to Ngannou. The danger not over yet, because with 17 gone on the clock now, it's a repeat set for the Knights, and they're 25 metres out with Martin, centre field. Now it's Harris to Bailey. Bailey brought down there by Lawrence and G. 10 away. Tackles in the bank for the Knights. McShane to Harris. Harris to Ngannou. Ngannou told to take the tackle after Jesse D had ran into Keys. They're going back on that left-hand side now, and they're a metre out on the last. Desperation from the Bulls. McShane tries to pinch one, keeps it along the line of Hingano. Hingano crossfield kick, targets Carr. The ball's bounced. York are going to claim the try. It's a horror show from Connor Carr, and the try is awarded. It was Hingano on the last tackle. It was the crossfield kick. Connor Carr, Kieran Gill, Jordan Lilly. They were all in the in-goal area, but Ben Jones-Bishop, who's 6'5", he's got all that experience, and it's his 20th try of the season. It's a cruel, cruel blow for the Bulls. You've got to say they have been on top for the opening quarter, but something out of nothing there. Very, very difficult to blame Connor Carr, the 22-year-old Huddersfield loanee. We mentioned it in the preamble. York might just need to potentially target, and it doesn't take me to realise Mark Applegarth's team talk. His tactics would have been on what has been a bit of a porous Bradford left edge defensively. Well, very difficult to see how that come about, but Connor Carr couldn't take it in. The ball bounced forward into the arms of Ben Jones-Bishop, and all he had to do was put the ball down. So Ben Jones-Bishop, try 20 of the season in only his 13th appearance. The Championship's leading try scorer. Harris, can he have an extra 2 here? Kick predictor, 88%. He was 6 from 7, just 1 miss at Sheffield last week. He is the leading point scorer in the Championship, and this could be a crucial 2 points come the 80th minute. Just shy of 20 minutes gone on the clock here, and Harris, can he add an extra 2 points? Eben Skurr's about to come on for the Bradford Bulls. York 4, Bradford 2. Harris pushes it wide. York 4, Bradford Bulls 2. It remains here at the LNER. Very, very little between the Knights and the Bulls in the opening moments of this one. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. Well, apart from the opening 2-3 minutes, there's been no pressure, no possession for Bradford on that York line. The game has predominantly been played from each other's 20 metres forward. So, back underway here with Harris, clattered there by Lawrence and Gill. Oh, he wants to continue it there, does Harris, as we now see Lawrence and Skurr come in. Big collision there on Bailey as well. They're on their own 20-metre line as Santi is wrapped up and rolled over by Fulton, Dorrough and Hallis. Bradford committing 2 and 3 to those defensive tackles as Jesse D now beats Wonga Blake, beats Dorrough. He's running lateral, he's not running forward, and he's immediately run there into the former Manly man, Zach Fulton, one of those 4 ever presents in the Bradford side. On the last tackle, Harris goes for a 40-20. Connor Carr targeted again. This time Connor Carr juggles the ball, keeps hold of possession, and that's a good kick chase there from Harris. Bradford playing the ball, 10 out from their own try line. Lilly appealing for a penalty, non forthcoming. And we're going to praise both York and Bradford's discipline at this stage. We've just had the penalty, which come in the second minute for the push on Dorrough. Just 1 penalty, no set restarts, and the error count 2-1. Here goes Fulton, now to Blake. Blake's just brought down shy of halfway, heading into touch. He's dragged into touch there. It's Wonga Blake. Look at that hunger, look at that enthusiasm from that York defensive line. And you're just seeing the tables turn here. It will be a scrum, head and feed to the York Knights on halfway. York Knights 4, Bradford Bulls 2. We've just had the opening 20 minutes. We're heading towards half time here. Kieran Hudson, the former Castleford Leeds man, about to come on as well. As we said, it's a hot, sweaty, sauna-type afternoon here at the LNER. Bradford defending like their lives depend on it. Whoever wins goes top of the pile for this week at least. Connor Bailey, tackle 2. Jack Martin leaves the field for the Knights. On will come Kieran Hudson. Ronan Michael. Fenton Rogers warming up as well. We suspect we'll see them in just a moment. But with 17 minutes to go to half time, York are coming down the middle with McShane to Santi. Santi wants to get a quick play, the ball away in front of the post. York looking for a second score. Ingano inside the turn. Ingano passed up, can't pass off the floor. It's Matty G and Eben Skur with a try-saving tackle. They're on the last 5 metres out as Harris pinches one on the power play, and Liam Harris on the power play. It was a smart, sharp, execution-style run, and the captain of the York Knights, his 16th try of the season, the championship's leading point scorer. He scored a try here in that semi-final win over the Bradford Bulls, and all of a sudden, in the space of 3 minutes, the Bulls have just capitulated defensively, and that will not please Brian Noble. There's still a long, long way to go in this one, but you almost feel when you're watching that one back, you've got 5 players on that right edge, Bradford's left edge defensively, and you've got to say, Harris, he's got the dexterity, he's certainly got the guile, but he should not be forcing his way over from close range. A very, very soft, disappointing score that Bradford have conceded there. So Jones, Bishop and Harris, 2 players we highlighted pre-match. York's leading try scorers, breaching Bradford's defence. Bradford just need to continue with what they've been doing. It's almost like the Jones-Bishop score has put the Bulls into a little bit of a shell. 82% now for the kick predictor. Same position Harris was moments ago. York 8. Bradford 2. 2 tries in 4 minutes for the Knights. And this is what Liam Harris is good at. He's just good at taking time off the clock. Clock still counting down here at the LNER Stadium. 15 minutes to go to half time. Jones, Bishop and Harris, the 2 York try scorers. And Harris, can he take the York Knights out to a 2-score lead? 8-2. It's now 10 points to 2. York 10, Bradford 2. 15 minutes to go to half time. 2 costly defensive lapses by the Bulls. And it's York 10, Bradford 2. West Yorkshire Radio, West Yorkshire Rugby League. Bulls TV as well. Well, I think easy for us when we sit here and put some constructive criticism, but Liam Harris should have been shut down. He should not have been allowed to have that much space and freedom. So West Yorkshire Radio, West Yorkshire Rugby League, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV, back underway here. And they've knocked the ball on here. Paul McShane's lost the ball, 10 metres out underneath his own post. He's protested to Matty Lynn. Matty Lynn says knock on. Bradford working hard there defensively. There was Hallis Lawrence and Doro. Doro's made the second error from the York Knights. The York supporters are booing and jeering. Referee Matty Lynn will not change his decision. Scrum head and feet to Bradford. 10 metres out from the post. We've got 13 and a half to go to half time. Whoever wins goes top. A lot of people say it's season defining for this fixture this afternoon. I don't necessarily agree or subscribe to that. There's still 8 games to go and 16 points. It certainly will give York a psychological advantage if they were to make it a 3rd win against Bradford this season. Connor Carr feeds the ball. Hallis out, left to right. Lilly down the middle here with Fulton. Fulton brought down 10 metres out, dead set central to the post on the 10 metre line. Now it's going to go to Lawrence. Penalty to Bradford. Michael Lawrence, he's caught the York defence, not square. Bradford, a big decision to make here. Do you lock the game up at a 6-score game, a 6-point game? They've not had too much ball down here. They're backing themselves to get 4. Lilly looked at the post, looked at the coaching staff. Brian Noble unmoved. He's let the players make this call. Will it pay the dividends? Keys, Lilly loses possession. Picked up at the back there by Gill, but Bradford, it's a car crash there in a fence. They've still got the ball, but they're now 25 away from the line. All of a sudden, taking those 2 points looks a little bit more appealing. They will come again now with Hooley. 2 tackles left on this set. Lawrence, Skur underneath the post, tackle 4. 1 to go here. It's going to be Lawrence inside the 10. Lawrence plots a course towards the Knights try line. He's held down there by Thompson and Hudson. They're on the last. It's Hallis to Keys. Keys to McShane. Keys has kicked straight into the arms, into the breadbasket of Paul McShane. And Paul McShane, the 35-year-old, 3-time grand final winner, Challenge Cup winner, former Man of Steel. He is showing his experience there. And now this big York crowd, they're trying to alert the match officials that Bradford are offside inside the 10. Harris takes it, and Harris is away. Keeps the ball going now to D. D along the line. The broken clear on the far stand side of York. They're up to halfway. Bradford trying to head towards the touchline. Referee says held. Touch judge keeps the flag down. Sam Cook comes on the field here for Paul McShane. So McShane off, and now Bradford have got to deal with another Kiwi who has really started this season at the Knights in good form. They're on halfway. Last tackle. High hanging kick. Look at the ball swirl in the weather as Hooley takes that one. Fearless under the high ball there, Luke Hooley. And Fenton Rogers about to come on the field here. So too with Ronan Michael. And it's going to be a triple change because Tyra Knott's coming on the field as well. So Hallis and Lawrence leave the field. Another penalty. It's gone the way of the Bulls here. So 3 penalties to 0 in favour of the Bulls. Manny Lynn says there's a ball steal here. Kieran Gill's getting patched up for what looks to be a shoulder injury. Kieran Gill looks to be in a bit of pain here, but he's going to play through the pain barrier. And now Jordan Lilly will fire the ball into the York half of the field. York 10, Bradford 2. Kieran Gill, tackle 1. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Tyra Knott, now to Lilly. Former York man Ronan Michael. He made 60 appearances here, 5 tries in 2 years. Now it's Keys to Fulton. Fulton's 10 metres out, 5 in from touch. Good attacking platform here for the Bulls. They need points, they need a score next, you feel. They're down by 8, York 10, Bradford 2. Keys to Michael against his former club. He's underneath the post, 8 metres out. Quick play the ball. Ott goes on that right hand side. Keys, lovely float out ball, a knocking ball. Oh, where's the York defence? They're all in the canteen having biscuits and tea. A knocking ball just strolls in at the corner against some non-existent York Knights defence. What a ball that was from Keys. Pinpoint accuracy there from Joe Keys over the top. An knocking ball. He scored against Barrow, he scored against Huxley, he's now scored in his last 3 consecutive Bulls games. And the former Canterbury Bulldog man who's got a new deal for 2026, he will be hoping he's lighting up the Super League next season when the Super League expands to 14 on Tuesday. Big big week for Rugby League, as we know. Nigel Wood to be announced as chairman of the Rugby Football League, the Super League to expand to 14, and the Championship and League One, they will be merging. More on that and the conferences in due course. But it is a big, big week for the sport of rugby league. You almost feel the wounds are being healed from Ian Lenihan's destructive self-sabotage of the Robert Elston years, where they foolishly took control of the sport and just replicated what was already at the RFL and damaged it beyond belief. Well, Jayden Okinbo has given Bradford a lifeline before half-time here. And you've got to say, York, very, very good defensively, but their defence there was stretched, and that was down to Keys. Jordan Lilly, 20 metres out. Can he narrow the gap further still? Yes, he can. It's York Knights 10, Bradford Bulls 8 here at the LNER. We're in the 33rd minute, 7 to go to half-time.
Successful conversion by number 9.
And we're back to 2 points.
With the scores at the Knights 10, the Bulls 8.
2 from Jordan Lilly. Well, there was high risk there from Joe Keys on that ball, because if that gets picked off by Galliano, he is going away down that far stand touchline and no one is catching him. So West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. A hot, sweltering, baking tin LNER Stadium. Harris back underway. We said it was going to be tight. We said it was going to be tense. And has Brian Noble just rolled the dice and got a double six with those 3 interchange players coming on? Here goes Skur on the restart. Up to the Bradford 30-metre line. Wants to get a quick play the ball in there. Penalty to Bradford again, because Eben Skur has been holding down. He's been held down in the tackle. Penalty count 4-0. Well, you don't want to get too carried away when you're leading the penalty count 4 penalties to 0. We know what happens. Eventually, that will even itself up. So Bradford, piggybacked up the field by some York Knights ill-discipline. Tyron Ott now to Skur. Skur down the middle of the field, 30 away, just to the left of centre. Tyron Ott's in there at acting half. Finds Doro. Doro beats 1, beats 2, draws the defence along the line to Lilly. Lilly's being punched in the head here. Officials have missed it. Well, that was Sam Cook who went for Lilly in the back of the head. Bradford playing on. Gill now to Lilly, 10 metres out. Lilly takes the line on. Lilly looks to get the ball out the back door, but he can't. And Bradford now, a penalty in front of the post, because Kieran Buchanan has stolen the ball, and Brian Noble says we'll have 2 points. 5 penalties to 0. Marilyn's patience must now be wearing thin. Well, we've got to see a replay of that one there, because Bradford rolling York down the middle. Sam Cook punched Jordan Lilly in the back of the head. Lilly just looked around and went, who the hell was that? He carried on and played on. And York's ill-discipline costing him dear. 5 penalties to 0. And it's a penalty in front of the post once again, and a chance for Bradford to lock this game up. And all of a sudden, just like York did 10 minutes ago, back-to-back scores from Jones, Bishop and Harris. York have just exposed some of those frailties that we saw against Sheffield last weekend. They had a very strong second half showing, did the York Knights. Well, the crowd incandescent with rage. Matty Ling showing his experience as one of the up-and-coming match officials by not being persuaded or deterred. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. If it's an error, it's an error. Kick predictor, 92%. Lilly to take the Bulls to 10 points apiece. He's missed it. It's just caught a little bit of breeze and gone wide. Listen to the noise here. It remains York 10, Bradford 8. That could be a crucial miss from Jordan Lilly. Bradford are going to get the ball back from the 20-metre line. Well, Harris has missed one. Now Lilly's missed one. Perhaps that's just the pressure. How's the nerves? Harris from the 20-metre dropout up to the Bradford 30. Bounce of the ball to Michael. And Ronan Michael against some of his former teammates. 10 shy of halfway. Tackle 1. We've got 4 minutes to go to half-time here. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Well, we've got a bit to dissect in this first half. Chances at a premium. Both sides coming up with a few errors here or there. The big talking point is York and that 5-0 penalty count against them. Matty G, 15 inside the York half. Now to Lily. Lily to Doro. Doro felled by Cook. 20 metres out, but what a run there. It's the meter eater. It's Doro. Quick play the ball. Lily to Skur. Skur wrapped up by 3 York defenders. Those big pull table legs carrying him underneath the post. Bradford on the 5th and last. This could be their last chance of the first half. Crossfield kick from Keys. Looking for Okinbaugh. Okinbaugh palms it back to Blake. Blake to Hooley. Hooley wrapped up on the last, although gets a kick through to Manarafi there. And Manarafi now floats it in field to Jones Bishop. And Bradford just have to reset defensively here because with 2 minutes to go to half time, you get the feeling this big crowd are going to be putting pressure on the officials to give the Knights a penalty. They've not had anything in this first half, and York are surging forward, 10 shy of halfway. Matty Lynn is making sure the Bulls are back the 10. Well, when you watch this one back on Bulls TV, he's taking Bradford back 12-13 metres. It looks like Bradford are offside, but he's taking them back more than 10. York, 5 shy of halfway. Cook to Santee. Santee's rolled over on that left-hand side, and that is a set restart because Eben Skur has just held Brandon Santee down in the tackle. So York are going to close out the first half here, leading 10 points to 8. They're just above halfway inside the Bradford half of the field. First bit of indiscipline from Bradford. Skur just laying on in the tackle, and now Santee, 15 inside the Bradford half, centre field. We've got around 60 seconds or so to half time as York, can they hurt and really hurt the Bulls with the half-time hooter imminent? Jesse D just toying with the Bulls defence there. Cook out of acting after Thompson. Thompson targets Skur and Michael. The Knights, they're on the last tackle. Buchanan, Jones Bishop calling for it. Harris gets the nod, moves it along the line to Bailey. Bailey to Hingano. Hingano is in to break the Bulls' hearts, but the try will be disallowed. The try has been chalked off. They're going to say the pass from Bailey to Hingano went forward. The scoreboard remains York 10, Bradford 8. Hooter imminent here at the end of this first half. There could only be seconds left. A big call there. It was Hingano went through the gap to Bailey. Bailey back on the outside to Hingano. The pass was deemed forward. It remains York 10, Bradford 8. Oh, there's been a whole host of controversy in this first half. Well, Fulton's offloaded the ball off the floor to Connor Carr. Half-time hooter. Give away York too much in these big games. So we're up and away here right at the start of this second half. Round 17, 40 minutes to go. York Knights 10, Bradford Bulls 8 in the sunshine here in North Yorkshire as Fulton carries in outside the 20. Mark Applegarth will be hoping for a reaction from his side after half time as Doro feeds the ball to Skur and score. Skur there is made 15 metres forward. He's just shy of halfway centre field. Ott to Doro. Doro's wrapped up on halfway. 2 tackles to go at the start of this second half now as Ott gives it back. And up and over halfway the Bulls will go once again with Eben Skur. He's 10 metres inside the York half. Keys calls for it. Kicks straight down the throat here of Toa Manaafa, who takes it with the sun shining down on his face. But that's good kick tape pressure there. Good kick chase pressure from G and Doro. Bradford have to be defensively and structurally sound in this second half. York 10, Bradford 8. We mentioned about the relevance and importance. York have come up with an early error here. Jones Bishop has gone without the ball under another tackle from Doro. A fifth error from the Knights, and Bradford immediately looking to turn and twist that to their advantage. They're down by 2 points, 2 tries to 1. They're 25 out underneath the post with Blake. Ott to Skur. Skur's rolled over. One of 2 homegrown players in this Bradford side this afternoon. We've had 60 seconds gone at the start of the second half as Keys takes on that York defensive line. 8 metres out underneath the post. They're going to go with Lilly on that left-hand edge to G. G's 2 away from the line, and Bradford, they've got a tackle to go after this one. Lilly inside the 10, misses out Doro, floats it to Keys. Crossfield kick from Keys. Okinball's got the ball down, but the referee will say no try. It's gone to the touch judge, who's come on the field. And what we're going to say here, is it a try, yes or no? The referee says it's a penalty to Bradford. Okinball's taken out in the air. 6 penalties to 0 now. They're going to rule Okinball's not been able to ground the ball. It's right on this main stand touchline. 10 away from the line. They're not going for 2. Bradford, an early chance to lay the platform at the start of this second half. The Bulls supporters beating the drum. They're the heartbeat of the Bulls. Skur, 2 metres out, brought down by Hingano and Thompson. Right on top of that York line. Ott to Doro, to Keys. Lilly, back on the inside to Hooley. Door slam shut there on the former Leeds Castleford man. Doro takes a short ball from Lilly, and on tackle 4, the Bulls are being held out here by the Knights. Desperation from the Knights as Keys kicks into the in-goal area. Marafai trapped in goal. Another chance, another set of 6 coming here for the Bulls. Second goal line dropout the Bulls have forced on the Knights this afternoon. I'd like to have another look at that Jaden Okinball effort. Looked very, very close whether he got the ball down. The ball definitely rolled backwards out of the in-goal area. So it wasn't a knock-on in terms of going forwards. I'm guessing the officials have decided he's bounced it or dropped it, lost possession in the act of scoring, but he was taken out in the air. And from that penalty, Bradford have forced a second goal line dropout of the game from the Knights. Ronan Michael, tackle 1, 30 metres out centre field. Tyron Ott out of acting half now to Skur. Skur finds Lilly. Lilly 10 metres out underneath the post. Bradford firing, Bradford purring you feel. Ott to Keys. Keys to Fulton. Fulton twisting, turning, gives the ball back to Ott, and Tyron Ott fronts up, heads towards the line, and the former North Sydney Bears man is wrapped up. 5 out underneath the post. Michael in and acting after Keys. Bradford just having to work hard here to unlock the Knights' defence as Keys draws the line. Now it's the support of Doro. Another yard-eating run from him. He's 5 out underneath the post. It goes to Skur. Skur's had the ball stolen. No, he hasn't. He's lost it. Knock on. And that is a chance gone begging right at the start of this second half from the Bradford Bulls. Jordan Lilly just gets the players together, and could that error from Skur there come back and haunt them? They had the penalty, they had the goal line drop out. The scoreboard remains after 5 minutes of almost incessant Bradford pressure on the York line. The York Knights 10, Bradford Bulls 8. Surely it's not going to be another narrow 2-point defeat for the Bulls, as we've seen already 3 times this season. So scrum, head and feet to the Knights. That's Bradford's second error in this game. I know Brian Noble mentioned it pre-match. I think they made 13-14 errors against Hunslet last week. to make 2 thus far is good. And now Ronan Michael has lifted Toa Manarafai up above the horizontal and dumped him on his back. Here we go. York's first penalty of the afternoon. 6-1, still against the Knights, but as we said at half time, for those that were listening to us, you're very never rarely going to get any penalty counts that is 6, 5, 7-0. So York let off there by Bradford's ill discipline. York up to halfway. Mitch Clark, former Bradford man, carries the ball in on tackle number 1. You almost suspect with the sun and the heat and the energy sapping conditions how Mark Applegarth and how Brian Noble rotate the interchanges this afternoon could be crucial. Hingano now to Harris, to Manarafai over on that right hand edge. York inside the Bradford 20. It's York 10, Bradford 8. York just look that much crisper when attacking as Thompson is wrapped up by Lillian Hooley. They're 5 metres out now, the York Knights, looking for try number 3 of the afternoon. They're going over on the short hand side. They've got it with Field. He's run his halted, and that's tackle 4. There's 1 to go on this set. They're still 5 metres out. They go back to the 10. Bounces up off the floor to Harris. Harris now to Hingano. Hingano to Field. Field towards the line, and Ollie Field slides past Fulton, Keys, Blake and Okinbo. Ollie Field, a try here in York's 28-20 semi-final defeat of the Bulls back in May. The former Leeds Academy product, he has got the Knights on the board at the start of this second half. You've got to question Bradford's defence there. Very, very soft, very, very stodgy. Some frailties being exposed. There was Keys, there was Okinbo, there was Fulton, there was Blake. And in the end, Ollie Field could have passed it on the outside to Galliano if he didn't feel that he was being unselfish. So a third try, the first of the second half. Ollie Field loves scoring against the Bulls. It's right in this main stand corner. 14 plays 8. And just like we said, what the Bulls didn't want to do, we said they had to play smart. We said they had to play with patience and focus in defence. And unfortunately, we can only call it what we see it. Defensively, Bradford once again giving York too much, and that was a gift. York not really having to work hard to score that one, and that is the harsh reality. Clock is stopped here. Liam Harris taking an absolute eternity with this conversion attempt. Half-time scores, it was Barrow 22, Batley 12, Oldham 20, Sheffield 6. Well, as we said, York win today, Bradford lose this. Bradford could be 4th in the table, and then the hosting Oldham at Odsall. There's very little room for manoeuvre. Kick predictor here for Harris, 76%. This to take the Knights crucially out to a 2-score lead. It's 14-8 at the moment. Ollie Field, his 9th try of the season, his 3rd try this year against the Bulls. Harris has pushed this one across the face, but it's just hit the upright and bounced out. The crowd thought it was going over. Still 1 from 3 from Liam Harris. A rare off afternoon with a boot. And with 49 minutes gone in the sweltering North Yorkshire heat, York Knights 14, Bradford Bulls 8. Ball's just come off the kicking tee. We will go again. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Bulls TV, Mick the Game Caller Gledhill, Sunday afternoon, Rugby League. A match that's absolutely packed full of relevance and importance for both the Knights and the Bulls. And I dare say Toulouse Olympique and Sylvan Hoolies who might be watching this one. Bradford will have chances in this game. They have to play smart, they have to be patient, they have to be focused. They don't have to chase the game. York on the restart here with Thompson. They're moving the ball on this right-hand side. Much better defensively now from Bradford with Doro and Fulton there, bringing down the back row forward for the Knights. Here goes the Italian international, Brendan Santi, 31 years of age. Wins the penalty because the ball has been stolen. That would have been on the last tackle, and these are absolute coach killers here. Manny G, Eben Skur, the ball's been stolen. Penalty count now 6-2. Last two penalties have gone the way of the Knights, and Harris now boots a ball, an easy let off. These are coach killers. These are just absolutely suffocating and stifling any momentum that the Bulls can try and muster. They're now going to have to defend a full set from the Knights inside their own half as Cook gets to his feet to Thompson. Thompson finds the support of Clark. Mitch Clark, the former Bradford man, wrapped up just outside the 10, and he's lost the ball, Mitch Clark, and that's good defence there. And now Mitch Clark has gone for Lilly, the two former Bradford men. No love lost there between Lilly and Clark. York's 7th error in this game. Mitch Clark not playing the ball correctly. He struck the face of Jordan Lilly. He might be going for 10 minutes here. Well, is Manny Lynn going to do what Cameron Worsley didn't on Friday night in that game against Hunsley? Jordan Lilly is being spoken to by Manny Lynn, saying we didn't need you to come running in afterwards, but what's the punishment here to Mitch Clark? I think it's just going to be a penalty, is it, to the Bulls? York leading 14-8. And just when you felt that the Bulls were on the back burner there, well, Manny Lane just calming things down here. He's going to keep everybody at 13 on 13. So Bradford, they have defended that penalty, what they gifted to the Knights. They will now move the ball outside their own 20-metre line on tackle number 1. A real fierce, venomous rivalry at the LNER Stadium as we see Fenton Rogers carry Bradford 15 shy halfway, tackle free. Ronan Michael leaves the field. Lilly kicks early, looking for a 40-20. Jones Bishop backtracking, does well, does Jones Bishop. York 14, Bradford 8. Penalty count 6-2 in favour of the Bulls. Error count 7-2 against the Knights. Just a one-set restart given to York just before half-time. Real good intensity to this one here. Galliano plays the ball 10 shy of halfway. Mitch Clark, who's just come on, turning the game in York's favour. You feel another big 15-metre run. Three Bradford defenders having to bring down the former Hulkiston Rovers man. Up and over halfway. Thompson now along the line to Hingano. Hingano to Field. Field wrapped up there by Blake. 25 out, 2 tackles left from the Knights. It's Galliano to Hingano. Hingano to Malarafa, now to Santi. Santi puts the fend on Rogers. Puts the fend on G. But it's Ott and Lawrence who bring down the former Keighley man. They're on the last tackle. Kick into the in-goal area from Harris. He's chasing his kick. Hooley lets that one go dead. 7 tackle set coming up for the Bulls. That was patient. That was composed from Hooley. Harris just putting a little bit too much on that ball. York 14, Bradford 8 here. It's an absolute barn burner at the LNER Stadium. When these two sides meet, people stop, watch and take notice. Gill, tackle 1. 15 shy of halfway here. Who is going to roll the sleeves up and help the Bulls get that forward momentum? One of those players now is Jaden Ockimbo, who's made 15 metres up to halfway. The former Canary Bulldog man still going. Tackle not complete, say the officials. Second phase play as Hooley now skips into the York half of the field, and Luke Hooley has gone without the ball. So a rare error there from Luke Hooley as Bradford look to keep the ball going. Referee Manny Lynn will pack the scrum down in centre field, and it's York Knights 14, Bradford Bulls 8. Bradford's third error of the afternoon. It's been a low error count from the Bulls, but we've mentioned about playing smart, playing with that patience. Did Okinball really need to look to force the ball? Well, Brian mentioned about Bradford being clunky and trying to de-clunk the clunks. You've got to say Bradford's attacking play on the York line, like I said, a little bit sloppy and stodgy at times. The ball not fluent, not rolling like it was earlier on in the season. And no sooner have Bradford come up with the error, York have come up with the error now. Sam Cook not keeping that one in. 8th error from the Knights. Well, for those listening on the radio, on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, it's getting a little bit sloppy out there on the field. I mean, we're sat here in the blazing sun, and let me tell you, the sweat is just dripping off me here. What it's like for the players, you can only assume it's sweaty palms, and that sweat and that perspiration that is causing these drop balls. Not to mention the intensity of this big high-profile championship fixture, with a 14 gone in the second half. Just that try from Ollie Field, not converted by Harris, the difference. Keys from the base of the scrum, centre field, tackle 1, 40 away. Ott, Lawrence has just come back on. He will lead by example. He will bring that calmness and that leadership to Bradford's game management now, as Rodgers along the line of Keys to Fulton. Fulton fires into that York defensive line, wrapped up just outside the 20. 10 in from this main stand side. Hooley acting half. Keys, Doro along the line to Lilly. Lilly pirouettes and dances inside the 10. Much better there from the Bulls, but York still able to keep the Bulls at bay. And now York have conceded the set restart because Jordan Lilly was being held in the tackle. So not a vintage performance by both Brian Noble and Mark Applegath's side's high standards previously. It's still York 14, Bradford 8. They're 5 away from the line, with Fenton Rodgers trying to muscle and power his way over. Somehow Rodgers has got the ball away as Lilly kicks to G. G can't ground the ball. It's going to be another goal line dropout forced because Lilly kicked it into the in-goal area off the fly, and that was good defensive play from the Knights there. Jordan Thompson, I do believe it was him who just palmed the ball ahead of Manny G. Safety first approach there from the former Hull FC man. His 22nd appearance of the season. We're heading towards the hour mark, slowly but surely. 4 points to 0 in this second half. It was 10-8 at half time. Bradford down by 6. Well, they're keeping the Knights at the right end of the field, but they're just going to have to try something a little bit different, you feel, to break down this resilience in defence from the Knights. Back underway here. Rodgers tackle 1, carries up to the 30. Doro tackle 2. 4th appearance of the season for Aribi Doro, featured in the last 2. As now Gill enters the 20 on that left-hand side. Not really seen much ball this afternoon. Kieran Gill and Connor Carr predominantly down the middle with the forwards. Here goes Lilly. Misses out Lawrence to Keys. Keys to Blake. Blake comes up with the error with the line open. Costly chance gone begging there from the Bulls. 4th error from Brian Noble's side. And York all of a sudden now looking to turn the screw. We've seen this script, we've seen this play before. Madarafa acting half. Jones Bishop calls for the ball, gets the ball. And now he's 15 shy of halfway. Well, it's looking like we might just be going the distance this afternoon. 23 minutes to go here. Aribidoro has dismayed another error on Jack Martin. That is now the 5th error in this game Aribidoro has forced on the York forwards. It's a very, very stuttery, jittery, tension-filled performance here from both sides. Well, Doro quite clearly in man of the match contention for the Bulls with his performance this afternoon. Have we yet to see a Bradford player deliver the man of the match? York 14, Bradford 8 here. Scrum to Bradford on halfway. That was great defensive pressure from Doro as Kieran Gill now is wrapped up by Bailey over on that left-hand side. 10 metres med there, 40 away, tackle 1. Out of acting half here, Bradford will go. Lawrence already exerting his influence on proceedings as Connor Carr takes tackle 2. Fenton Rogers tackle 3. So 2 Huddersfield Lawneys going back to back, driving the ball forward. Bradford outside the 20. Lilly now goes to the left, goes to the right. Doro goes back towards the left, and Doro looking lively, looking dangerous. The Ulkiston Rovers Lawney is brought down 5 away from the York line. Game on the line here, you feel. 14 points to 8. Bulls down by 6. Keys, Lilly, Hooley, Blake, overlap, Okimbo felled, 2 metres out. Scrambling defence there from the Knights. They're on the last tackle, the Bulls. They go back to the 10 with Keys. Keys on the power play to Blake. Blake keeps it going. He's passed the ball to Hingano, and Hingano's away. But Hingano is grappled and brought down there by Fulton. And someone's going for 10 minutes in the bin here, It's a penalty to the York Knights. He was held down, was Hingano. The crowd, the coaching staff appealing for a yellow card from Matty Lynn. Matty Lynn's not going to budge. He's just going to say penalty to York. Again, it was very lackadaisical, haphazard. The Bulls attack. Blake clearly got the call, passed it to Hingano, didn't realise it was a black-shirted York player. And we've just hit the hour mark here at the LNER. York 14, Bradford 8. York 20 out now from the Bradford line. McShane to Harris, to Malarafa, to Buchanan. The former Batley man rolled over, 8 away. 5 in from touch on that far stand side. It goes back to Harris. Harris to Martin. Martin's lost the ball from Rogers and Oates. Well, York now are up to 10 errors in this game. They're giving gifts aplenty to Bradford. It's up to Bradford to capitalise on some of these errors. Well, Fenton Rogers had the ball. Give it to Keys. Keys to Okimbo. And finally, Bradford might be able to get a bit of composure here. Okimbo plays the ball on the Bradford 40-metre line. Well, who is actually leading this attack from the Bulls? Because it has been far from impressive at times, but they're still in this game. Doro's taken out off the ball, penalty forthcoming, and that was stupid play from the York Knights there, because Saribi Doro, he passed the ball to Keys and was taken out on halfway. Bradford's first penalty of this second half, second penalty of the second half, and it's just a warning from the North East official, Matty Lynn. Jordan Lilly into touch on this far stand side. We have got 18 and a half minutes to go. We're in the final quarter here. York 14, Bradford 8. Fenton Rogers brought down, tackle 1, 20 away, centre field. Is this the moment the Bulls delight their large travelling contingent of supporters here Lawrence tackled 2, plays the ball. Now it's Storrow, now it's Keys to Hooley. Hooley into that York defensive line. Grappled down to the floor there by Hingano. The 10 metres out now, the Bulls. Hooley's told to play the ball. Fulton acting half. Keys. Rogers. Bounces off 1, bounces off 2. Bradford about to sprinkle some magic on proceedings. 18 to go, down by 6. In front of the York post with Doro. Fulton. Look at this York Knights defence. It's going to take something magical from the Bulls to unlock the defence. And here goes Lilly. Crossfield kick off the fly. Looking for Gale. York have lost the ball. Dead in goal. It's a 4th goal line dropout. It's intense pressure that the Bulls are putting on the York Knights. Brian Noble has actually come across the field via the back of the dead ball line. He's down pitch side. Very rare we've seen Brian on the technical area side of things in 2025, but he realises this is a big game and his presence, he'll add energy. Bradford still down by 6 though. I do wonder, with just over 16 minutes to go, if you were to say to Mark Applegarth and Brian Noble, would you take a point apiece? It would mean Toulouse remain top, but neither York or Bradford would have dropped anything in real terms. Still a long time to go in this game for a winner. Fenton Rogers now, tackle 2, up to the York 30 metre line. Logan Bayliss back out there on the field. Bradford building with Doro, the yard eater, down the middle. 15 out, centre field. Lilly on that left hand side. Short cross on Boulder G. Forward pass picked up by the officials. Bradford just forcing the ball there, and it remains York Knights 14, Bradford Bulls 8. Bradford's 6th error of the game. They're 5th in this second half. That will not please Brian Noble. Well, we've just said Lawrence has left the field for Logan Bayliss. Lawrence is impacting that 10-minute spell, not able to change the scoreboard. Well, 15 minutes to go here at the LNER Stadium. Bradford still down by 6. Clock has been stopped. You could see what Bradford were trying to do, that double pump, delayed pass. Unfortunately, it was just delayed a fraction too long, because when it left Lilly's arms into the chest of G, it had gone forward, it had transversed forward. Well, this has been absolutely energy sapping. York 14, Bradford 8. York moving the ball from deep inside their own half, so Bradford have York at the right end of the field. The frustration, I think, for Brian Noble, if Bradford succumb to a 3rd defeat, is going to be they've had all the ball, all the opportunities, they've just not been able to click offensively. That probably highlights some Achilles heels in Bradford's play. York 5 shy of halfway, 2 tackles to go. Paul McShane kicks early, no one at home for Bradford. Perfect kick from McShane. Okinbaugh trapped in goal, and that for mine is the difference between the two sides. Tackle 4 on halfway, nobody at home for Bradford. Paul McShane looked up and he has trapped Jaden Okinbaugh in goal. There was no Bradford players back. That for mine just highlights the difference between the two sides. York's first goal line dropout that they've forced. Bradford now with the clock slowly inching and the scoreboard against them. You would not be surprised if this is just a composed draw the ball towards the post and then put the extra point over. We will see, but you can just see the game management, the calmness, the cohesion of this York side offensively. Bradford down by 6. McShane inside the 20 to Harris. Harris threatening ball to Jones Bishop, funny touch. Connor Carr try saving tackle on Jones Bishop. There's life yet in the Bulls. 13 to go. Perhaps York felt they could chance their arm, and that was the Bulls' breaking point. As it is, some resilience, a say of defiance from Connor Carr, the 22-year-old. Made his Super League debut for Huddersfield earlier on this season against the Carolans in round 7. Made 3 appearances, scoring 2 tries under Eamon O'Carroll last season. And the youngster from the Huddersfield Giants has come up with a huge play here. And now the York Knights have come up with a ball. Ockimbo can't make it to tackle one because Ollie Field has stolen the ball from the former Canterbury man's grasp, and York now can smell blood. Fire up the Jaws music. There's a great white in the ocean. Get out while you can, because Jordan Thompson is heading towards the line, and that is dumb play right under the eyes of Matty Lynn. The ball's been stolen. I think it was Matty G. He's just reefed the ball out, and York now will surely close out this game, you feel, because with just over 10 minutes to go, underneath the post, Liam Harris will almost certainly go for 2. Well, that is dumb. I'm not sure what Matty G was doing there, if truth be told. There was 4 Bradford defenders. The referee was stood right on top of that play. And this, you feel, could be the game. Bradford are going to have to chase this game now with just over 10 to go. Well, a lot of people, certainly Bradford spectators, going off social media comments, place this game as season defining. There's still going to be 8 games to go after this, and there's still time for Bradford to get something from this game. But as we head to the final 10 minutes of this meeting this afternoon, kick predicted at 100%, Harris will not miss this. And it is going to be the York Knights who lead by a double score lead. It's exactly 10 metres out in front of the post. Bradford penalised for stealing the ball. And Liam Harris, he's about to drill that knife, that stake into the Bulls' coffin, which he does. York Knights 16, Bradford Bulls 8. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes for the Bulls to show a response. I'm just looking at the Bulls supporters in the packed away end. 2,000 fans, all sat, all subdued in the North Yorkshire sunshine. So 10 to go. Is the severity of the situation going to spark the Bulls into life? Lilly goes short. Bradford don't come up with a ball, or they do come up with a ball because the ball has been knocked forward by a York palm, says referee Matty Lynn. Well, the error count from both sides absolutely horrific. 12 errors now made by the Knights, 8 made by the Bulls. And it's got to be said, as Bradford will have the scrum, 30 out from the York line. There might be a late grandstand finale, but certainly, similar to the meeting at Odsal last month, it was a classic from a neutral perspective, but if you're Brian Noble, Mark Applegarth, far too many missed tackles, defensive lapses, errors. But crucially, despite York being nowhere near their best this afternoon, they're looking to make it 9 straight wins in the Championship and 11 in all competitions. Bradford, you feel, stuttering at the wrong time of the season. Yes, you can make a case they have 7 players missing through injury. Well, the game's on the line now here for Bradford. They simply have to score. Will it come on this set? Will it come on this possession? Wonga Blake scored try number 10 last Friday against Hunslet. He's wrapped up 20 metres out. Logan Bayliss runs direct, tackle 2, 15 out, underneath the York post. Can the York Knights keep the Bulls at bay as Keys enters the 10-metre line, but Jesse D wraps him up, and Jesse D does exceptionally well there, wrapping up the former Halifax London man, as Logan Bayliss now goes for another attacking raid down that right-hand side, underneath the post. We've got 8 minutes or so to go here. Logan Bayliss gets to his feet, not happy with the tackle. There was a bit of pushing and shoving there. Referee Manning will stop the clock, and he's going to just allow Bayliss to play the ball here. No penalty to either side. And there's a chance here now for Bradford. They're as close can be. Lilly to G to Hooley. Hooley over on that left-hand side, but once again the York Knights slam the door shut. 8 minutes to go. Last tackle here for the Bulls. It's going to be a crossfield kick from Lilly. He looks to find Blake. It's live in the in-goal area. The ball has missed Blake. It's missed field. It's going to be a tap on the 20 here for Toa Mana Afai and the York Knights. Referee wants a controlled restart here. Some York players were ahead of the 20-metre line. Well, let's see what happens here now. You almost get the feeling York have done enough, they've shown enough in defence, and it will be a third win of the season against the Bulls. Bradford now, short turnaround before facing Oldham at Odsal on Friday. There's still time in this game, but it's going to take something absolutely miraculous for Bradford to turn this attack around. York are on the halfway line here with Martin. McShane now to Hingano, to D. D steps back on the inside, and he's 2 metres inside the Bradford half. Well, ultimately, when you watch the free tries that Bradford have conceded this afternoon, Jones Bishop come off the error, Harris come off soft defensive pressure, Field score come off missed tackles. The game has been there for Bradford to win. York on the last, Harris down the throat there of Hooley. Hooley does well, but he's trapped 5 metres out from his own try line, and now Bradford must turn defence into attack. We have got 6.5 to go here. 6.5. Bradford down by 8. In the sunshine, in the heat. Jaden Okinbaugh wrapped up there by Field and D. Third tackle gone. Bradford still inside their own 10. Bayliss carries Bradford outside the 20. Tackle 4. Keys to Hooley, and Hooley's gone through. Hooley up and over halfway. Hooley finds the inside support of Keys. Keys is going, gives it to Blake. Blake's tackle, 20 out, underneath the post. They're on the last tackle, the Bulls. The game's on the line. Keys into the in-goal area. Skurs chasing this one. Harris kicks it dead. Oh, chance begging there for the Bulls. Where's that been all game? 5 goal line dropouts. 5 goal line dropouts. The Bulls have forced up the Knights. It'll all be down to York's redoubtable defence. Referees just stopped the clock here. York taking a little bit too long to get it back underway. So 5 minutes to go. There's 5 minutes left on the clock. Bradford down by 8. They need 2 scores. This is the set you feel. They have to score on this set. Logan Bayliss, tackle 1, 30 metres out. Now it's going to go to Skr. Skr inside the 20. Tackle 2. Can Bradford bring the mother of all comebacks up? They're down by 8. 4.5 minutes left. Lilly's playing the ball inside the York 10. It's Skr trying to crash over. He's brought down the left-hand side of the post. A tackle left after this one. They're over underneath the post. The Bulls are going to have a grandstand finale. Strap yourselves in. It's 16 points to 12. And Lily, he wants to get the conversion attempt over, which he does. It's 16 points to 14. The clock is stopped, and all of a sudden Bradford have given themselves a lifeline. Try from Sam Hallis, conversion from Lily. Hallis, try number 3 of the season. It was just the speed of the play of the ball. We're going the distance. Lily 3 from 4. We're in the 76th minute, and there's 4 minutes to go on the clock. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. We are going the distance, just like we predicted. The boos and jeers are Liam Harris taking an absolute ice age to get the kick-off back underway. The referee has stopped the clock, incidentally, Manny Lynn. It just takes away some of Bradford's momentum, you feel. Referee Manny Lynn says time back on. Here we go. Strap yourselves in. We're going the distance at the LNER. Logan Bayliss, tackle 1. 10 out from his own line. Look at this response here from the York Knights. Hallis to Skur. Skur up to the 20. Tackle 2. You almost feel Bradford are going to get at least one more set of 6 after this one. Lily, short ball to G. Tackle 3. Bradford making meters here. York just letting the Bulls come to them. They don't want to concede any set restarts or penalties. Tackle 4 on halfway with Aribi Doro. The atmosphere electric. The 2,000 plus Bulls fans have come alive. Hallis to Lily. Lily over the top to Fulton. Bradford going lateral. They need to go forward. Keys back to Lily. Lily's ball, where's that going? G's wrapped up, and Bradford now on the restart, on the last tackle, still inside their own half. Lily will take it up to halfway. It's a high hanging kick. Hooley's chasing this one. Tawamara Afai has taken that one from the clouds. Hooley's gone down. It's head to head contact between Luke Hooley and Tawamara Afai, and referee Marilyn will stop the clock. There's literally seconds left in this game, you feel. We've got someone shouting there's less than 20 seconds. The clock's gone off the scoreboard. It will be York ball. 20 metres out from their own line. Well, Sam Hallis has given Bradford a lifeline, but we've got to be brutally honest. Fundamentally and realistically, this game's gone for the Bulls. They have to force an error urgently from the Knights. It's going to be more heartbreak for the Bulls. Another narrow 2-point defeat, their 4th of the season. Just imagine the outlook if they had turned those narrow defeats into narrow victories. So seconds to go here at the LNER. York have it, 20 out from their own line. Ben Jones Bishop, tackle 1. Hooter imminent, we are told. That's been communicated to the York players. They're just going to scoop the ball up and run from max in half. And that penalty miss from Jordan Lilly could absolutely be costly. It will be costly, but whether or not that is the reason Bradford lost, it certainly isn't. Hooter about to sound here.